Yeah,
big
that's
concern.
the
All
big
right,
concern.
Brad, we're going to stay in your wheelhouse
All right,
because there
Let's
was
go.
a stretch, and really I think it's ended because of what the Cavs are doing. There was a stretch where the big man was, you'd look around and say, where'd he go? He wasn't in the NBA. And when you played, obviously, big men were the building block for so many teams. But now the Cavs are trying to sort of flip the script. And with Evan Mobley, who I think is just a wonderful kid, young, he's 20 years old. He's come in. I think he's outperformed even our greatest expectations of him coming out of USC. The big question that I think a lot of fans have about Evan Mobley, we see what he can do night in and night out, but does he have that extra something special that, say, Giannis brings to Milwaukee, where he was able to say, guys, rally around me, give me the pieces, and we can win a championship here? Can Mobley do that here in Cleveland?
So let me first say, Evan Mobley is a special talent. He's a very special talent. And he is one of the pieces that the Cavaliers have that have put him back in a prominent position. So let me be clear. They turned back the clock and basically went back to old school basketball, went to a front line of 7 foot, 7 foot, 7 foot across the front
Unheard
line,
of today.
which was unheard of in these current days, but it is very reminiscent of when I was playing, right?
Takes you back to the Twin Towers.
There was no team in this league that could really defend that when it was at full strength, and that's why the Cavaliers had a lot of promise going forward. But so getting to Evan Mobley, he is a great talent here. He is not a talent I think you can ride all the way in, but the Cavs are built on a team concept, not one guy showing the way all the way through it. And I think in longevity, when you have a team built like that, Celtics, teams of that nature are built with multiple disciplines, you have a chance to go longer. I'm going to just tell you here, it took us a long time. I've been broadcasting for the Cavaliers for 12 years, right? It took us a long time to get to this point post LeBron, right? Because a lot of bad games we had to watch here, a lot of bad basketball.
Even before LeBron, Brad, like since the Doherty, Price, those guys' years, the Cavs have been awful pretty much every year.
If LeBron wasn't
except
on
for
the
LeBron.
roster.
They did have 1 or 2 decent years, but pretty much they've been awful.
Well, the Cavaliers, I don't go back to that.
Yeah.
They panicked after we beat them in '89 and what happened. They broke apart that team,
Yeah.
and I think it set them back a long time. I think they learned from that. But where we are now is we've retooled. I think they've done a great job putting this young nucleus together. The question this summer is, will we push Evan Mobley be better, right? Can he get better? I think his upside is tremendously high.
Does he not have that interior drive on his own?
At 20, you have to learn this league. Not many walk in at 18, 19 dominating this league. You have to wait 4 or 5 years here to develop into what we see ultimately. Look at Giannis. I remember when Giannis was rookie year, I was like,
but
I'm
the
like,
growth
who is
was
this? I'm like, who is
incredible.
this?
Can we see that kind of growth with
so
Evan?
you can see that if you've got right people beside him, bringing him up in training. You have to learn this game. I would just tell you this, though. In that, we have other pieces around. The Cavaliers have to make significant decisions this season about where we're going. Because I think this, right? On the outskirt, I'll go to the West Coast, G. If I'm the Lakers, I'm not trying to retool the Lakers here. I have 2 assets.
You're going to blow them up, start over?
Yeah, I think in this league, what the Lakers will realize this summer is that they have 2 assets to only get better. Because if you stay with these assets, they're probably going to walk away. You're going to get nothing. Right. And so there's a pathway forward here. Because I think what's missing on the Cavaliers team is a person, a talent that can nurture young talent, right? But we don't need a talent to come in here and take over the show. We need you to be Oscar Robertson to the Milwaukee Bucks when Kareem Grant.
You saying LeBron? They got to get LeBron back?
I'm giving you the tea leaves out here. I'm not a fool. I'm not a fool. Here,
But
right?
weren't you impressed
LeBron.
with?
That's what he's saying.
Weren't you impressed with Evan Mobley's offensive game as a rookie
No,
at 19? I thought he'd be good defensively and
Bull.
and-
I watched him at USC. He's a talent. I was like, when people were passing, I'm like, you're foolish. I'm like, you're not watching. You're not knowing what you're watching, right? This guy is a talent that you can ride in on here, right? But as we allow him to grow, we have to surround him with other players.
Are you proposing a LeBron James
back.
return? Is he that guy?
I'm proposing this, that I'm always trying to get better. If I learn anything from the Bulls and the Pistons, it's like, how do I get better?
DeJounte
And
Murray.
I'm not here. A division championship is not my goal here.
Right.
It's riding it all the way to the end, right?
Well, that should be the end goal of
Well,
every team.
no, because some people are about the money and some people don't know how to do that, Jay.
Yeah, but I don't
They
think
just
Dan
don't.
is. I think
No,
Dan wants the title.
I think Dan wants to be there.
Sure.
Right. So it's taken us a while to get here. We have the pieces: Mobley, Garland. We have Sexton sitting out here on the sideline, right?
Yeah.
So we've got the pieces here. Kevin Love has fallen into a place where he can come off the bench and give us some
Do you
prominent
think
production.
he provides the proper guidance and leadership? Because I know a lot of the young guys, Garland, a lot of them have mentioned they've learned how to be a professional from Kevin Love. There's value in that.
So he has been great to this team. The difference is when you have a top talent, a top-tier talent is respected throughout this league through and through, their command of the locker room is so much better, right? It's just different.
They've earned that.
It's different. And I'm saying what's floating out here in the NBA, the Cavaliers have a chance. The only problem for the Cavaliers is if you're looking for at a piece like that, people are going to want to extract something from you.
Right.
I know.
But can LeBron beat?
Don't give me some
comes at a cost.
low. It comes at a cost.
Yeah.
So
But
you
can
have to
LeBron-
decide, do you want to do that or not?
Greg, can LeBron come back and it not be just the LeBron show again?
Well, I'm not sure that, and I haven't talked to anybody. I'm just giving my opinion.
Yeah.
But I would tell you this. I don't think he can come back in the form we see him in now because I think it's detrimental to everyone else.
Yes,
right?
but will
Because-
he?
right.
We talked about Jarvis
Can he-
Landry
can he
accepting
set
it.
his ego
Will
aside?
LeBron be able to do that?
Let me just say, because
Yeah.
he doesn't know this yet, but he's closer to the end than the beginning, right? No one has won against
Well,
five-
if
five-
you do any math at all,
Right, no one
he has to know that.
No, they here.
I mean, he
I've been
doesn't have
around.
16 more years in him.
Here, they were,
He's not
they're
that
guys
crazy.
that have never known when it was time because they're so used to playing at a high level.
Sure.
I mean,
that at some point you have to
We've
adjust.
never seen
you have to-
LeBron not play at
you
a
have
high
to,
level.
You have to adjust
Ever.
your game here, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I threw out the thing about Oscar Robertson.
Right.
He was a triple-double machine in the NBA.
Yeah.
But when he came to Milwaukee, he had to tone the game back so that the other Bucks could go forward.
I think when you look at it, if LeBron, and I don't know how this morphed into LeBron, but if LeBron comes back and Evan Mobley is at a point where because to me, Evan Mobley is a mix between Duncan and Kevin Garnett a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And if he makes now, there's superstars, there's
Pretty high
stars. If Evan Mobley is a superstar, I'm talking 22, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks a game.
Yeah.
I think LeBron starts to see. Well, hold on, let me see. I don't really got to play.
I don't have to
forward.
do that.
I don't got to
Yeah.
play forward.
I don't have to do that.
They got Jared Allen. He do the dirty
Yeah.
work. I ain't got to do that either.
Well,
They
what are the
gotta-
Cavs trading to get him? I'm not trading Garland.
Well, here they're going to be asking for a high price, and
Yes.
so
Who's your
I'm
untouchable
I'm not even
on this team? You say you have to give up something to get something.
I-
Who are the guys that you would not even think about
I'm not
parting
moving
ways
Mobley.
with?
Two guys.
I'm not moving Garland.
Yeah, those are my two
those
also.
those
I'm
are
not
the ones
moving Allen either. I think he's an
Yeah,
important
Allen's
part
such
of
a
the
see,
talent.
but here,
But
if
you know
want-
the
if you
teams
wanna
are gonna
get
want
better.
good-
Yeah, right.
If you want to get better,
Yeah.
then you
Well,
got to give up something here.
Well, that's what we were talking the other day when you weren't here about trading Colin Sexton as the key piece to get DeJounte Murray from San Antonio, who I love and I think is a really good player. And he learned from those great veterans, Parker and Ginobili, when they were still a championship team. And he's a great player on a
Would
bad
you
team.
would you entertain? And there were a lot more moving parts.
Yeah.
There were a lot of Cavs draft picks, but are you at least intrigued by a deal that could include those two players in the swap?
No.
Yeah, see, I'm
No.
with you.
No.
I don't want to break that
the,
core up.
The difference is you have a
Yeah.
great core here, and the only way I'm going to break this core up if I get something of greater value, right? And the only
But
greater,
he is a better player,
Let
much
me just
better
say,
player.
When you take a
Yeah.
when you take a legitimate,
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not a legitimate superstar or veteran player in this league. When you insert him in the locker room
Right.
and around young
What
players,
happens to the chemistry?
It goes up.
Yeah.
David Robinson to Tim Duncan, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
How many years was Duncan under Robinson's tutelage?
Right.
Before
Yeah.
he surpassed Robinson.
Well, that's why
that's what's happening here.
That's why they had such a long run at the top.
Right.
Because they had one superstar passing the baton willingly and
Willingly.
checking his ego, and then you had the underling superstar never had an ego either.
Didn't have the pressure because the superstar carried the load. I didn't.
At
have,
first
I
he
didn't-
did.
I didn't carry that heat, right?
Yeah.
And I trained you up here,
And
and
let's
then
be
after
clear,
I trained you
that
up,
was perfect.
That's what happened.
But LeBron James has carried a lot of folks, man. But we don't remember how bad these teams were.
Oh, yes, we do.
And Kyrie Irving has never looked better, opposite of any other
Kyrie Irving can't stay on the
superstar.
court.
Yeah.
Other than LeBron, he's played with Durant. he's played with the Boston Celtics, who are loaded at
Well, look
James
at the
Harden,
roster he's playing
Tatum.
with now. Harden,
Yeah.
and you're right. I don't think he's ever looked like the same guy. He's still a dynamic player.
Yeah.
But I thought the perfect storm for both of those guys was one another.
Yeah.
And I think they both miss one another, to be
There's
honest.
no